Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mizuki Arts. Today we are doing a sort of part 2 to my plant fairies video that I did probably a little over a month ago, but we're doing it as a spooky season kind of version, just because I've really been in a spooky autumnal mood lately, even though it's September and it's still crazy hot outside most of the time. So anyways, let's just get started. First, I'd like to give a big old shout out to my Ko-fi supporters. So thank you so much to Ashley, Michelle Kelly, and Alicia Yellow Lodge for supporting me on Ko-fi. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, let's get on with the video. So yeah, as you can see on screen, I've already started sketching in our little fairy here. Our first flower is going to be the corpse flower, which can grow up to 10 feet tall apparently. It's native to Indonesia and it's named for its smell. It literally smells like rotting flesh, and the tip of the flower, like that yellow part right up the center, is actually close to the temperature of the human body, which aids in the illusion of it being like rotting flesh, which actually in turn attracts like flesh-eating flies and like beetles that would feed on that kind of thing too. And the reason it attracts these bugs is because it needs something to pollinate it and to like spread its pollen around, and that's exactly what those bugs do. So I decided, in order to make this plant that was already kind of, I don't know, like Halloween themed, I guess, with the horrible kind of undead type of smell, I decided to make her kind of witchy, but also have like these Frankenstein scars, like she's like a zombie or something. I don't really know. So I kind of blended those ideas together, and I tried to work with the fact that she's supposed to like smell really awful and attract flies and bugs and stuff. And at first I was kind of hesitant, but I did just end up like adding flies around her, which at first I was like, oh, it just looks like she's like a cartoon character that smells bad, but like that's literally the whole deal. And I tried to kind of mimic the shape of the flower throughout her design. Like it gave her very like ruffly wings, and like long flowing sleeves that had like you'll see later, but like the deep purple tone combined with like the yellow edge and stuff. You'll see here I'm like blushing her like pink, but I ended up giving her green skin just to fit with like the idea that she's undead. And that's why she smells like a corpse. And I gave her like a poison bottle, or maybe it's her own special perfume, I don't really know. I also tried to mimic some of the parts of the silhouette of the flower. Like I gave her very tall yellow hair. I know it's not on screen right now, but it was like a second ago. But I wanted that to mimic the kind of center of the flower, because that was something that came up in my research. Even though really, by research I mean I was on Wikipedia for like 5 minutes, but I gave her that yellow hair, and I added streaks of purple to it to actually kind of like reference back to like the Bride of Frankenstein, similar to how I called her scars, like Frankenstein scars almost, and it's kind of like a reverse Bride of Frankenstein hairstyle she has going on. I added skulls in a couple different places across her design. You see one on top of the poison or perfume bottle, as well as one in her hair. I also added little flowers, like little mini corpse flowers in her hair as well. I just really wanted the flower to be like really present in this design, because obviously it's a flower fairy that's also Halloween inspired, and it's just kind of a lot. It's kind of like a layered, complicated concept, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's our first fairy. She's our corpse flower girl. Yeah, that's she's also kind of Frankenstein-y, and that's, you know what, that's fine. That's what I was going for. These concepts don't have to make sense, right? This video concept is so weird just because it's sort of a part 2 to another one, but also like something I've never done before in terms of like combining flowers, fairies, and Halloween. But anyways, our next fairy is going to be themed after the Persian Lily. There's nothing particularly spooky about this flower. It's just kind of, I don't know, like dark colors, like just dark purples and even browns apparently. There can be up to 30 flowers per Persian lily plant. Like I mentioned, it can be like purple or brown. It just has like a range of colors, and it can be anywhere from 12 to 24 inches tall. And of course it's native to to Persia, the kind of region that is modern, or was Persia, I guess. So that's like the modern day Middle East. And I chose to kind of pull from the purple variant, but you'll see later I did give her brown hair. I had a lot of fun with this design. I decided to make her kind of a witch character because that is kind of the vibe that I pulled from. Like what made this flower like stick out to me is it had like this very, very soft purple color that almost made the petals like look silky. Like it's really pretty. And I know I said that the corpse flower fairy was like kind of witchy, and of course I pulled from that vibe, but she really was more inspired by like the Bride of Frankenstein. In this character I would consider to be a true witch. For her hat I basically flipped over one of the flowers and then added more petals sewn onto it, as well as like a leaf. For her wings I wanted to do something unique, so I tried to apply like the texture of the petals and capture like the purple to green ombre or like transition that happens between the flower and the stem, because in flowers oftentimes the shift in pigment isn't like harsh from petals to stem. It kind of mixes together at some point, and I wanted to capture that in her wings. And of course I gave her these super cute brown pigtails that kind of like flip up a little bit, and I tried to mimic the shape of the actual like blossom in her, like the ends of her braids, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, I had a blast with this one, guys. She's so cute. I had a lot of fun like highlighting the wings and the stitches just to make her design really pop, especially with like the patchwork effect of adding all of those different shades of purple. I suppose there's not really that many, but like there were 2 main shades of purple that I kind of worked with that you can see here, and it's just, I love it so much, guys. It's so cute. And yeah, I think we're ready to move on to the third and final spooky plant fairy. I decided to make the third and final fairy in this video be pumpkin themed, not any specific type of pumpkin, because I was too lazy to research which ones people typically carve into jack-o'-lanterns, but the one I was thinking of was the classic orange pumpkin that a lot of people use to make pies and carve jack-o'-lanterns. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. So in case you didn't know, pumpkin is a type of winter squash, and there are a ton of different types, from baby boo pumpkins to I don't know, that's the only type of pumpkin I really know the name of, but they're native to North America, and they can weigh anywhere from like 6 to 18 pounds, but there are actually competitions held between farmers to grow the largest pumpkin. So obviously there are tons of types of pumpkins that grow much bigger. They can be made into pies, and like I know my mom makes this really good type of like pumpkin cheesecake, and there's just a lot of stuff that you can do with them that maybe you wouldn't think of when you're just looking at them. And they love to grow in the sunshine. So I tried to pull all of that into this character design. I gave her bright orange fluffy hair and glasses. I gave her glasses because I wanted to pull on like the pumpkin carving eye shapes. I wish I'd given her like triangular lenses, but it didn't really suit the like sunny and sweet personality I envisioned for her. I tried to give her like a really round silhouette. Like I gave her a really poofy sweater, this like puff dress, and I also gave her a basket of pumpkins with a vine coming off of it. But when I looked up images of pumpkin vines after the fact, I realized no pumpkin vines really look like that. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I could have sworn I'd seen pumpkin vines that looked like the one that I drew, but nothing on Google looked remotely close to what I had pictured. So I guess it's just a random vine, or maybe I made up a new type of pumpkin. You guys tell me. I tried to give her wings like a very similar shape to like the different sections on a pumpkin, like all the different segments and stuff, so that kind of the roundness of the rest of her design would carry over. If you saw my other fairy video, you'll know I kind of try to carry the textures of the plant throughout the design, and I decided to make her orange green just to contrast the orange kind of nicely, and then it also kind of echoes the very large leaves that actual pumpkin plants have. I had looked this up after I'd already inked the vine, but before I'd done the coloring, so that's kind of what we're dealing with here. But it did inform the color of the sweater, which is good. And after some highlights, our final fairy in this video is complete. I really hope you guys enjoyed this random little spooky video in the middle of September. It was really fun for me to make. The whole reason I even decided to go down the fairy rabbit hole was because I had so much fun with the first one. And yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in any more like plant fairy videos. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Do all the YouTube things down below if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!